Seriously.
Ooh, it's gone the best 9 months here. Michaela, will you go ahead and do roll call?
Yes. Mark Hammer, Daryl Thomas,
Here.
Kathy Alfeld,
Here.
Stacy Langdon. Here. David Maston,
Present.
Tina Nicholson,
Here.
Vincent Aguirre.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay. We are trying to do a trial recording tonight. And then some of the next steps will be getting your computers up and going and kind of doing some of the other stuff. So Michaela's, we're gonna try it out, see how it records and everything goes tonight. Okay, the next thing on our agenda is public hearing for our budget of 2025. It's an opportunity for anybody in the public to ask questions. I will tell you that the focus of this budget for this year is roads, doing more roads next year, and sidewalks, and also the salaries of our employees this year in our budget, especially with an emphasis on police and fire. So I have at your place a couple of things. I know we talked on a budget workshop a couple of weeks ago, waiting on the numbers for our LIT, which is our local income tax. We have budgeted, I believe it was about 2.2 million. It is coming to us, it will be at 2.6 million. So quite a bit more than what I anticipated, so that helped out the general fund. Public safety lit is up.
Push that mic. There you go.
Back a little bit, that's better. Is right at $1 million rather than the 900,000 we received before. And our edit is at 881,000. So we've seen some increase in that local income tax, so that's good news for our budget. At your table are some updates on how we are showing now park and cemetery in the black, and how they're budgeted, and actually have done a pretty good cash reserves. Next month it will come to you. We are going to do we have met with Jason Keeney, who is now in charge of both the park and the cemetery. We went through his line item, his budgets by line item and line item. So we're going to have some reductions to their budgets. We're going to reduce, and you'll see that in the resolution next month. We're going to reduce around $91,000 out of the current park budget this year. A lot of that is related to salaries. And then the other, for cemeteries, we're going to reduce about $31,000 out of their budget, which also relates to cemeteries. So after it's all said and done, we make those reductions and add it back in. We see pretty positive cash flow moving forward, and so the cemetery and park will be funded with the budget we have proposed for 2025. Does anybody have any questions or any questions from the audience about the 2025 budget? Anybody that wants to take a look at that, it's here at City Hall. We'll be glad to print all of it off for you or anything. So anybody's entitled to get a look at the budget. Any comments? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
That's gonna move.
I second it.
Second, we have a motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed or abstaining? Hearing none. Okay, the next item we have is public petition and comments. Does anybody have any comments or anything they want to bring up to the city council that is not already on the agenda? Okay, seeing none. We have a couple of requests. The first one is the Greencastle Fire Department for the public safety open house. So, Rob, you want to come in and share with us what's going on at the firehouse? I believe the mayor is cooking hot dogs that day.
So we are bringing back our public safety open house this year. We've not had it in several years because of COVID.
and some other issues. But what we're going to do is something a little different than what we normally do. So normally we just have a fire department open house. So we're going to do public safety. We're going to invite the sheriff's department, the police department, EMS, CERT, dispatch, all the different public safety agencies, and try to have them in the same building at the same time and give them a chance to showcase some of the things that they do and the equipment that they have, and just be open to everybody. And we are going to have food, but what we're requesting is to close down the street from Indiana Street from Poplar to Walnut, which is just right in front of the firehouse and Redworks, and then Vine Street from, Poplar Street from Vine to Indiana. And that's just to give us some extra space to get our trucks out of the station and park them out there so we can still make responses. But it's going to be October 3rd from 4 to 7 p.m. And hopefully we're going to try this out and see how it works this year. So.
Okay, does anyone want to make a motion for that? Do we have a motion from Councilor Asbell?
I'll second.
And a second from Councilor Geary. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed or abstained? Okay, we'll be ready to have your event.
Thank you very much.
And I'm sure if anybody here at the table wants to help out with that event, help serve food or anything like that.
October 3rd.
October the 3rd, it starts at what, 4?
4 and goes to 7 p.m.
You come and help do hot dogs with the mayor.
It is my mom's birthday, but I'm going to try to drag her out.
Awesome. Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is Main Street Greencastle, for they're wanting to have a trick or treat on the square.
Thanks, Council. So yeah, we're trying to do the trick or treat on the square. We had a few years where that kind of went away. We brought it back last year, and I think it was a pretty good success. And so looking to do the same again this year. It will, so we will not have anybody crossing Jackson. So the idea is that the businesses that are on that side would come over to the main part of the square, I guess. I don't know, that section, so they can table or out of their cars or whatever they want to do, so we don't have people crossing Jackson, because that gets a little hectic. So the closures are Franklin Street, which will go from 231 down to Vine. That would be Indiana Street from Franklin down to Poplar, and then on Walnut Street we would close from Walnut up to Vine also, because the library participates in that as well. And even though it doesn't go as far up to the library, it gives everybody safe passage around that area, and the fire department, and anybody else that wants to be down in that section. So yeah, asking for the closure. Wasn't fully sure the city Halloween is the citywide is, we know the time for that.
They'll probably be on, well, that will be on the agenda next month
Okay.
to decide exactly the time and place.
Okay.
But normally, the norm has usually been it's on Halloween. 5 to 8.
5 to 8, okay.
Yeah,
So, yep, and so the request here is from 5:30 to 7:30 downtown. The event is from 5:30 to 7:30. I'm asking for a street closure from 4:45 to 8 p.m. That just gives us time to make sure everything is in place, traffic's out of there and all of that, and then give us time to get everything cleaned up and open back up.
Anybody have any questions? Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we approve the street closure as presented.
I'll second it, but it's the coldest day of the year.
Thank
I know it was cold and windy, but hey, we stuck it out, and a lot of people came out. We're thankful for that, and a lot of businesses participated, and yeah, so. Yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed or saying? Hearing none. Okay, thank you very much. The next item is our department heads reports. They were in your packet. We're kind of light on department heads. There's a lot of them going, a lot of things going on with them, so I gave a couple of them the pass on tonight's meeting, but Does anybody have any questions for the department heads?
Do you want to talk about the cooperation between Jason and Andrew working on the line? They have really stepped up.
I will talk about that. So, out of the YMCA, they have gotten to the point where they're getting ready to pave the parking lot. And they brought it to our attention that we really needed to have a big part of that dirt pile moved to other areas, and that it needs to be seeded for IDEM reasons. And so they wanted it done this week, and a lot of our budget in the landscaping area has been already spent on some previous issues that they had. So I just, out of the blue, called the street department superintendent and the park cemetery superintendent and said, hey guys, would y'all like to go out and move some dirt and help us out? And they're like, sure. So they have all moved, gosh, I don't know how much dirt, a lot, because the topsoil that they need to do is 6 inches. So they've been out working with their staff, and they've got most of the topsoil. They would like to see a little rain, so let's hope there's not a gully washer tomorrow, but just a little bit of rain come on it, and then they will seed the whole area. And I'll tell you the size of it is, it's at least 10 big bags of grass seed to seed the whole area. But some of the areas we've decided we're gonna probably put in blanket, but yeah, they are saving us thousands of dollars because that is not a big job. So,
And Jared Grable.
and Jared Grable has helped us out with a piece of equipment to help grind out the kind of the bigger chunks of clay. They call it topsoil, but it's just good Indian clay. So, but yes, yeah, they've been great working together and getting a lot of things done in the city that we would have probably contracted out before that would have cost us thousands and thousands of dollars. So, and all of our department heads have been working really well together, police and fire, and they even help out in other departments too. So we appreciate that. Does anybody have any other questions about that? Okay, I'll move to the mayor's report. You know, we've had a really busy week at City Hall this week, and one of the highlights of the week was we have started a comprehensive plan, and on Wednesday, yesterday, starting at about 8 o'clock in the morning, going all the way until about 8:30 in the evening, we had different community stakeholders, very diverse group, come in and with work under focus group with our consultants and talked about the future of Greencastle. And it was super exciting. It was just really positive on what's going on. And so I really encourage everyone to get out and take the survey in our community and have some input. Of course, we can't have all of our residents come in and talk on a focus group, but we did reach out to a lot of folks to come in, and we had over 50% of the folks we invited in to show up, so, but it was really positive. A couple of counselors were here. Kathy will serve on the steering committee to represent the city council, but just a really good day there. The other thing is I'll give an update on US 231. Monday they were here at City Hall to talk to any public that wanted to come in and talk to them. We will have another open house with them next month. It will be on a Monday. I'm not sure the date right off and what time it'll be. They'll provide that information. But they were here, some of the public showed up and kind of gave their opinion on a few things. But NDOT's trying to improve the communication to the community. However, I cannot, honestly, we have no idea when they're going to be done out here. We've had Bovair involved with trying to get to a solution with Frontier. and some of the other issues with NDOT. And, but they do assure me that Jackson Street's going to open up soon. It's really not, I would love to be open tomorrow, but I don't think it's gonna be that early. But they are working on the sidewalks downtown, and I think they're doing a pretty good job on those. When you go downtown, if you see the open areas that are not concrete, that's where some of the pavers are going back in. So that's where there's some spots, but they're working on those, and as soon as that gets done and they get the folks that can put in the street light down at Jackson Street, then that should open up. But yeah, that's about all I have. Oh, Alvin Pond Road. Eric will probably have some more further information about Alvin Pond Road, but we are going to put in a whole subdivision out there. We'll receive new sewer lines. A big part of that is going to go into the middle of Alvin Pond Road. So probably October the 1st, we will have Alvin Pond Road will be closed to through traffic.
Over 31st?
Around the 1st of October. Alvin Pond Road will be closed for about 30 days. They were supposed to have a street closure for me for you guys to do that, but they did not get that to me. But they're anticipating about 30 days. It will not allow through traffic, but everybody will be able to get to their homes. They may just have to come in from one direction. We know if we leave it open to through traffic, then we'll have everybody zooming through there. So for the safety of everyone on Alvin Pond Road, we're going to just shut the whole road. We hope, and I don't know if it's we hope to also do some other repairs on Alvin Pond Road that are needed while the road's closed. So we're hoping to get a couple of things done. But we'll see about some of the repairs that we need to do. But Todson and J-Mart are getting all new sewer lines in the neighborhood at 100% participation. Yeah, Caleb?
As Mayor Dunbar mentioned, I had my training with Civic Clerk, who does our meeting and agenda management. So we're doing a little test run tonight. I feel like the Wizard of Oz back here. But I'm excited because hopefully, well, definitely by the end of the year, everybody should be trained to upload, department heads will upload their department head reports. Everything will automatically upload. You all will have logins to log in, see the agendas, see the packets as things are being uploaded. I think it'll be great. And then we can start streaming, live streaming our meetings. So we've been working on that and making steps forward. Go back to my card papers. Greencastle Heavy Trash Day will be Saturday, October 5th from 8 to noon, free of charge for all of our utility customers. We hosted this in the spring as well. That was my first time hosting it, and it was such a fun day. Who would think a heavy trash day would be so fun? But we saw so many citizens come through, and everyone was just so happy to get rid of their trash. So it was a really fun day, and we're looking forward to it again Saturday, October 5th. Drug Take Back Day is Saturday, October 26th. 26th. From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Greencastle High School. Reach out to our police department if you have any questions about that. The Mural Fest Community Block Party is Saturday, September 21st, from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. from 3 to 4:30. Activities will be going on at Michaela Kinsella Park. Michaela Kinsella Park. And then from 6 to 8 p.m. will be the downtown celebration around the Courthouse Square. City of Greencastle is the fiscal agent for that grant. So we've been working very closely with the Mural Fest Committee to file all of their claims and really make sure that all the paperwork's in order for the Ready 180 grant that they received for that. City of Greencastle also received 2 other Ready 180 grants for lighting and the housing projects that we're working on. So we're really excited about that, but there's a lot of reporting going on right now with each of those grants. And the last thing I have is that our 2022 and 2023 audit reports have been filed, and they were emailed to all the councilors as well. So Mayor Dunbar can wipe her hands clean of her clerk treasurer duties. I still ask her for help every single day, but officially she is done. She passed. I think that's all I have. If anyone has any questions.
Well, that seems like plenty.
Yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a busy month, but it's been good. It's so rewarding getting to work on these projects and see progress and movement forward. It's a lot, but so worth it. Thank you all.
Okay. Vince, we'll let you go first today.
Sure. Short one for me today. I want to emphasize the event that Clerk Treasurer Johnson mentioned for the Mural Fest. There'll be the 2 murals in the 4th Ward during the fest. It's going to be a really good time and super kid friendly. I'm really excited for that, so I hope to see people out there. I want to thank the Parks Department. They did a great job cleaning up the basketball court at Mapleberry Park for the mural. It's just a total transformation, so I really want to thank them. And then next Thursday at 11:30 to 12:30 is my next City Council office hours. Although Pizza King did change their hours, so they're not open for lunch, so the location will be Wally's again. Hopefully I'll get some evening hours so I can get into Pizza King at some point. And that's it.
Tina.
Nothing. No, I do, but we'll just, I don't.
Dave.
I sat in on the NDOT meeting on Monday. We actually only had one member of the public who was directly affected by it. And the 2 folks that were here physically from NDOT, PR people for the most part, very good, very understanding. The folks in Indianapolis that were on the team meeting or Zoom or whatever it was, same thing we've been hearing for the last 2 years, essentially. Well, we didn't foresee these problems. We didn't think we might have to do something with a 120-year-old sewer line. And, we tear up a road that's been there since 1863, and we didn't expect to have any problems. And it's like, we didn't. So they hedged a lot, and as Linda said, no answers. That's really frustrating. But I did take Megan, the young lady, out and show her that split sidewalk by Hecko's and Myers 5 East. And it blew her mind, basically. NDOT can't be proposing something like that for your sidewalk. And so that message is going to go back if that's what they were proposing. But so it was good for her to see that. And so, I mean, I've dealt with NDOT before, but I really do empathize with the mayor because, she just butting her head against these brick walls. There's no answers coming from them, and it'll happen when it happens, is more or less what they say. So, that's that.
I only have one thing. I talked to Alex from the Civic League, and they will be doing the downtown windows again, decorating them for Halloween. So that information will be available soon, but she said yes, we are full speed ahead, so that'll be nice to see in the downtown.
Since you brought that up, and just for the heck of it, they're on Shadow Lawn, and all our Halloween characters, are they all legal?
Big skeleton.
I don't
It's big.
The big,
I like
big
them.
skeleton, and now
I
we
mean,
have a
I
guy.
like them.
It's cool, yeah.
There's no rule against them that I know.
It's their yard, it's not obstructing
No,
anything or.
I'm not aware of anything. I haven't really.
The one new one was,
The scarecrow?
I'm gonna say, I don't, he was not, it was not intentionally bothering traffic, but it was a distraction to the traffic that was
Well, if
trying
they're
to
going the
block.
speed limit,
Yeah,
they
20.
should be,
And
yeah, it's
I
20
first
miles
thought
per
he had
hour
a
through
gun,
there. Yeah,
But it wasn't a gun. Yeah.
okay. I like the
It
dog.
was subject of discussion today, so I thought, well, why not? Stacy brought it up.
Why not?
I saw it today. It's massive.
That's right.
It's so cool.
Daryl, do you, since we're reviewing, do you have anything?
You've not seen,
I-
they started with
yeah,
one
I
skeleton.
have 2 or 3
didn't-
things.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, now they have
Go
3
ahead,
and a
go ahead.
dog.
Okay.
Well, part of my report, I was going to give Andrew some kudos. I saw the flower pot guy in business 3 or 4 days ago. And I guess he's done a bang-up job in watering the plants and pulling weeds and fertilizing and whatever. And I just don't get downtown that much to see him in action, but I saw him in action today, and I think he's done a great job. You get to looking around at all the flower pots that we have. That's been something that's been tried off and on over the years, and we've not been real successful at that. But I watched him for about an hour on Tuesday, I guess it was, and very conscientious, I guess.
Yep. If you look at our parking lots downtown, they're pretty weed free. They look really nice, well maintained.
Yesterday, about 3 o'clock on Washington Street, there was a semi that was stuck on Arlington Street, trying to turn, and he was too big. He had traffic on all 4 sides stopped, so I stopped and became traffic cop. And helped, we had to move some cars. Cars had to change and go back east from where they were located so that semi could get his truck turned. And I gave him instructions about how to drive. He was going to Illinois from Greencastle. So I gave him instructions how to get the heck out of Dodge, but we still have truck drivers who can't read.
They are kind of, I think we're seeing less
I don't know.
in the areas they shouldn't be. And I will tell you that, the police have really been monitoring that area. I don't know, Chris, we've written quite a few tickets over in that area, haven't we? For the public that won't stop at the 4-way stops and some trucks that aren't, that. I think we're seeing a little less. I have talked with a couple of the truck, folks here in Greencastle and said, if you go on Madison Street, you're okay. If you are on any other street, then we're gonna ticket you if we see you, and that's what our police have been doing. And they're pretty hefty tickets too. So.
And one other thing, I've already talked to you about this today, but I want to thank you for making the front page of the paper Tuesday. As an alumni of the courthouse, and having been way before you people were, well, you were probably mostly in diapers when I first became the lead in assessing the need in the courthouse for a different parking structure. Commissioners gave me responsibility to interview everybody in the courthouse, take a survey. And this has been 25, 30 years ago, guys. 40 years ago. Most of you don't remember that far back. And on that day, everybody in the courthouse got surveyed because I didn't leave their office until they filled out the survey. And the 10 question survey about parking on the courthouse, parking around Greencastle or whatever. The most interesting question was number 3. Do you have some sort of infirmity that would keep you from walking to the courthouse? You'd be surprised how many people in the courthouse can't walk from a parking lot to the courthouse.
It's called a sudden onset of infirmity.
Well, the thing I really want to get to it, Eric, I don't want you to write all this down because I need your help. Because when the survey was over, I wrote a letter to the editor and got my butt in a jam because I sent the letter to the editor of Purdue University stationery, and I shouldn't have. But I pointed out in jest some of the things that were being talked about for this parking issue, such as the Red Cross had a permanent station on the courthouse square on the east side. The great little old lady who worked in the Red Cross didn't drive. I said in jest, probably the most important person in the courthouse is the little lady who operates the elevator, because you can't get to the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th floor without her help. She needs a parking spot. And I picked on IBM people as IBM's biggest employer in the county, and it represents all sorts of tax base. We don't need the manager of the IBM plant needs a spot in the courthouse. And I picked on Dick Asbell, who happened to be the chairman of the city council at the time, and at the time the council had just voted on a tax increase. Well, he needs to have a spot on the courthouse square. If he's brave enough to do that, he's brave enough to be able to. I had about 5 or 6 different silly kinds of things that had been mentioned during all this discussion. So Linda, I want to thank you for getting on the front page of the paper, because I told my staff, unless you're carrying in or carrying out, you don't park on the courthouse square. And I don't know that they ever totally did not disagree with that, but that's for your first intergovernment agency highlight, made front page of the paper in a grand fashion.
For the courthouse parking. Well, we have seen less courthouse parking on the square the last few weeks, so we'll continue working on that, so. Kathy?
I just want to piggyback off of Daryl a little bit and just thank you for being so assertive with NDOT the other day. And I watched you online, and I was really proud of you. And I know that our community members, I know that you know that Mayor Dunbar works really hard, but she works really hard. And this thing with NDOT right now takes up 100% of her time, and so thank you. I appreciate all your hard work. I just have one thing, and we have a wonderful community member who reached out to Stacy and Vince and I about the sidewalks over on Arlington off of Washington Street on the south side of Arlington in your neighborhood. And she lives near the park, and I have to say, you know, that street is a main thoroughfare to get to the park, but there are inadequate sidewalks in the area. And I went there a couple of weeks ago and just took some pictures that I sent to you all so you could see. But and I was there for 5 minutes, and the cars turn into Arlington off of Washington so quickly that they jump up on where the sidewalk would be if you had one there. So I know you were gonna talk just briefly about kind of the plan for that area, so if you could just let us know kind of what your ideas are, that'd be great.
Couple things. So, and Lori can probably talk about this a little more than I can. But we are going to have to start putting together an inventory of our sidewalks and which ones are, and have all kinds of analysis done as far as ADA compliance. And we're going to do that. I think that sidewalks are one of the most important things in our community. At the beginning of the year, I'm going to task one of our department heads in looking at all the sidewalks in the city of Greencastle as to their safety, which I have lived in that area since 2002. Those that knew me before I became mayor knew that I was on the current administration a lot about this road because it is not safe. I have seen almost so many people hit, and with the construction, it is so compounded right now. So it's bad. That is one of the streets that we are going to have to put sidewalks on. I know it's going to require us taking down some trees, but we're going to do this survey. There's an organization over in Terre Haute that we belong to called Thrive. They know that we all need to do this for almost no cost, very low cost. We are going to have them do our sidewalk analysis. We need this analysis for a lot of reasons, is that we are doing the things ADA. We're making huge strides with ADA. Our park is now 85% ADA compliant, if not 90.
Yeah, I'm not sure of any areas that need to be.
We're going to do some work on Emerald Park, and it's not going away.
Except Emerald Palace.
Emerald Palace. We have some issues there that are not ADA compliant, but we're going to work on those. We're going to do an update. Emerald Palace is not going away. We are going to do some improvements to it. It needs a little TLC, but in that we're going to take a lot of attention to the ADA compliance and swing sets and all that. So hopefully within the next spring, you're going to start seeing some of these sidewalk problems taken away with analysis also, which ones are not ADA compliance with slopes, and there's all kinds of things to it. Lori just went to, was it an all-day session on it? ADA is very important in our community, and we're gonna start really taking a lot of look at our sidewalks. We have a lot of sidewalks that go nowhere. And so at the beginning of the year, we're gonna take a serious look at that. We have a lot of parks that we have no sidewalks that can get there. So we do have some needs, but we're gonna start addressing some of them.
USDOT, since we receive USDOT money and state money, we have a whole, there's quite a list of requirements for us regarding ADA sidewalks and along the roads and other things. But one of those things is this inventory, and you have to, it's not sufficient to describe or just take counts of your ramps, because we've done very well. We've been very aggressive in the last 15, 20 years. But you have to measure slopes, you have to measure widths, you have to measure every aspect of the ramp, and have a full inventory of it and description of it. So for every single ramp in the city.
So we'll be working on that. And there's some engineering. Honestly, one of the reasons it hasn't done is that area will take some major engineering for the sidewalks, because the electric poles, the trees, different things are all in the way of it. So, but that will be a priority next year.
That's all pretty tight.
It's very tight, and the road also needs some curbs and gutters and storm sewers and our storm water utility and everything like that. So it is a problem here, but it is going to be addressed.
Well, I know this will throw Councilor Asbell, but
Are we going there?
south of Walnut, particularly south of Seminary Street, there is sidewalk there under the grass, but it's the brick sidewalk.
Well, and see, that's part of the problem too, it's historic, it was
Yeah, we're
historic,
gonna
and I
do
think that's
historical
part of
stuff.
the reason why
Mm.
nothing happened before.
Yeah.
Well, if Thrive or the street department need any support from the council, I'd love to participate in anything they need. And I was saying earlier to some councilors, the specific person who emailed us, I saw her today with a toddler on her bike and a young daughter on their own bike, just standing on the side of the road right there because the cars were coming through and they couldn't
Yeah,
get
they
through.
fly through there anyway.
Yep. Yeah. So they were just standing there waiting for their moment to keep going, and it's a shame. So
Yeah,
thank you for everything we're doing there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do some work there. I've been complaining about it for years. So stop complaining, have to take action on it.
Let's do it to it.
Do it to it. The next item on the agenda is our approval of minutes, and so we had our regular session on the 8th, and then we had 2 work sessions on the 14th and 15th. So we can either approve them all into one, or we can do them individually.
I found one correction on the 8th, I believe. Old business, our vote establishing economic development target area. It's A. I believe the vote was 5-2. I think the vote was 6-1.
I did.
No.
I voted for the area, or I didn't vote for the area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it is 5-2?
It's correct.
No, I voted against the area, but then I voted for the
final
abatement.
vote.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, my mistake.
Mhm.
6-1. I would move that we approve the 3 sets of minutes as a group.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed or abstained? Okay. Dave, are you gonna do the claims?
I'm gonna do claims.
Okay.
I'll try to kind of stay out of the weeds a little bit here. We will start with our payroll. We had 3 pay periods. We pay 26 times a year, and 3 of them just happened to fall into this month. $846,992.42. Our payroll pensioners on our city plan, not PERF, but the old city plan, we paid out $18,783.72 for the month. Again, 3 payrolls. Our direct payables for the month, expenses were $262,468.78, and then our regular payables, which we see under council council claims, was $575,947.11 for a grand total of, read it and weep, $1,704,192.03. This is testament to just what a quality job this young lady here does. to the 3 cents. So I went through line by line, and of course I got tons of questions, but they're not for here because they're just trying to clarify a couple of things. But one, I thought that we had already paid the $27,500 to the CDB for the movement of the depot, and it showed up again here on claims. Am I wrong?
It was approved in November 23 to pay it. We just received the invoice.
I'm sure that was on an earlier claim.
Because we were
We
paying for the
were at
food.
that meeting though.
I was at the meeting and I about had a heart attack.
Because
Yeah.
we're paying for the
So maybe-
footers. And we were paying for the footers to be,
Yeah,
for the
okay.
thing to set on, and
Okay.
we only pay after the work is done.
Next question is on insurance. Is that an annual premium?
Yeah.
Good, because that's over $300,000. So that's the insurance world in which we live. All these, just the multitude of expenses, claims, they add up to a lot of money. So our department heads, I've been watching these guys for 40-some years, maybe longer. Heck, I painted curbs when I was 12 years old. So I've never seen them work better, frankly. But I would also urge all the department heads to economize where you can. And, so, I will make a motion to approve the claims.
We have a motion.
A second.
Tina seconds, so we have a motion and a second, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And anybody abstain?
Abstain.
Okay, that's an abstain. And there's no nays. Okay.
You in it?
Yeah, let's back up. I can't second it, or I guess I can second it, but I have to abstain.
Okay.
That's right. Thanks.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We have no old business. So the next item that we have on the agenda is ordinance 2024-10, an ordinance for appropriation and tax rates. Okay, so this will be first reading on this. You guys should have received copies this afternoon on that. Basically, this is an ordinance that we will have you approve. I will tell you the tax rates in some of these areas are a little high because we only put in 85% of the assessed value. So we kind of put it in there in case there's any errors. And then for the cumulative capital development part, we always put in additional assessed value or something higher because we get a nickel for every amount on the assessed value, so we don't want to lose that. I can kind of go through this. This is first reading. The adoption will happen on 10/10/24. So we have adopted budget of rainy day at $100,000. The general fund is $6,093,378. With the adopted tax levy that will go through that is $2,817,923, which comes out to a tax rate of $1.20. We have the only bond the city has is our pool bond. To pay that bond, we need $105,350. So that is 4.51% or cents. Fire pension, there's no tax on that, which is 100, and we need to budget this, and this is our old 57 funds.
Pre-77.
And this 177 fund. So for fire pension, it's $137,701. For police pension, it's $162,473. Local roads and street, we're budgeting $100,000. For motor vehicle highway, $1,982,550. It will see tax levy of $906,724, which equates to about 38 cents. Park, we're budgeting $706,438. The adopted tax levy on that is $325,779, so that is almost 14 cents. Cemetery, $319,566. Adopt tax levy going to the cemetery is $178,578. So the operation of the cemetery is 7 cents, 7.64 cents. Cumulative capital is a cigarette tax. We have a budget of $50,000 for it. It does not, it comes in off a cigarette tax, so there's no tax levy for that. Cumulative capital development, $300,000 budget. We should receive around $171,944. We use buy equipment out of that fund. Economic development income tax. The budget for that is $1,594,035. TIF. This is totally an estimate. One thing we will do differently this year than we've done any other year is we do have a TIF plan that has to go to redevelopment by November the 1st, so that you'll be seeing that redevelopment. So about $8 million for that. but it does show up in our budget here. Then we have what we call home rule funds that do not receive tax levies. So we have cemetery ground improvement. The adopted budget will be $142,500. The cemetery trustee is $8,000. The cemetery old mausoleum is $2,000. Non-reverting softball is $10,850. We still will have a little bit of coronavirus money that we will need to spend in 2025, which is the sewer that's going in at Todson. So that's we're budgeting at $500,000. Non-reverting city hall, $50,000 on that. We will no longer be offering basketball at the park. It will be done by the YMCA, so we have nothing there. And public safety lit, which is all the operations of the fire department and the police department, $1,921,219. So,
What was 9504 again?
90
The local recovery fund?
Coronavirus.
500,000.
We still have money we have to spend.
We've got to finish it. We have until next year to spend it all.
It should be done in the spring.
It should be done in the spring for JMR
They're
and
gonna start,
Todson.
they're gonna start October 1st, and then do Todson, do the construction of the sewer along Todson, and then do J-Mart in the spring.
Okay.
And then we'll finish up with paving and everything at JMR. So that's gonna take care of all the pavement and everything at JMR and Todson. So they'll have a pretty nice area road.
And I think that's great because that's 40 years overdue. They were annexed in 1984.
So we're excited about that, getting them taken care of. I know it's a little inconvenience to the public, but they're entitled to sewer. So.
We haven't had that before, have we?
No. So, does anybody have any questions about this? If not, I would entertain a motion on first reading for the ordinance or resolution for appropriation of tax rates.
I move that we will adopt on first reading ordinance 2024-10.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed or say? Okay, so that will come back to you all next month. Okay, the next item that we have on the agenda is our 2024-11 ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Greencastle establishing wage, salaries, benefits for 2025. So, but you prior councilors, at one time we would have done 3 ordinances. Our friends at the State Board of Accounts likes when we will kind of shorten things and make it much easier for them to understand. So our clerk treasurers had a lot of years auditing ordinances, so we're kind of going with an ordinance that covers a lot of things. So we don't have to do a bunch of ordinances. They also like to see where they can go into our accounting records and just quickly see how much people are paying, what their rates are, and so we have simplified it. So this is why it looks a little different to our older group. I'll kind of go through these. I don't know that I'll read them word for word. But we have an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Greencastle, Indiana, establishing wages and salaries for 2025. So be it ordained by the Common Council of the City of Greencastle, Indiana, the following shall be the salaries or wages and benefits of the respective elected officials, appointed department heads, and employees of the City of Greencastle, Indiana for the calendar year 2025 and or otherwise adopted or modified by ordinance. So the first thing we talk about is our salaries. The position and salaries and the wages for elected officials, appointed department heads, and employees of the City of Greencastle are hereby set as detailed in the attached Exhibit A salary matrix which incorporates herein by reference. The salaries or wages in Exhibit A does not include all forms of compensation and is therefore in addition to the other forms of compensation and benefits as set forth in this ordinance, other ordinances or policies or applicable employment agreements Additional information is also included in the City of Greencastle employee handbook, which in that handbook you'll be able to see how much vacation and things like you get that would apply to that. The Common Council and the Board of Public Works and Safety, Common Council and the Board of Works of Public Safety, members of the City of Greencastle shall be paid their salaries in 26 biweekly equal installments. This Common Council members shall be paid 75% from the general fund, 12.5% from the water department, and 12.5% from the wastewater department. The Board of Public Works and Safety are paid 50% from the water department and 50% from the wastewater department. Bi-weekly payments. All elected officials, appointed department heads, and employees with the City of Greencastle shall be paid on a bi-weekly pay schedule. Exhibit A reflects the maximum salaries and not to exceed amounts that elected officials, appointed department heads, and employees can be paid in a bi-weekly pay period. Hourly rates listed are the maximum per hour rate an employee can receive unless otherwise noted in Exhibit A. Overtime, I won't read through all that, but basically our employees are paid overtime at time and a half. Then it spells out police officers are paid at time and a half after they exceed 86 hours. And then our fire department is paid overtime after 212 hours in a month. And that's all spelled out. Exempt employees, exempt salary employees such as appointed department heads, assistant police chief, assistant fire chief, and deputy clerk treasurer and the city attorney are required to work whatever additional time may be necessary to meet the responsibilities of their job description and are not eligible for overtime pay. Then we're doing something new here with the police department. A couple things. We're offering differential pay to the night staff that work the night. So the captain, the sergeants, and the police officers will now receive differential pay. The City of Greencastle non-exempt patrolmen shall earn night shift differential pay. The rate for the differential pay is outlined in Exhibit A. Police detectives who are assigned on-call shifts shall be paid a flat $20 for Friday nights and a flat $25 for Saturday and Sundays plus actual time worked. Water, wastewater, and Department of Public Works employees who are assigned on-call shifts shall be paid and a flat $20 for Monday through Friday shifts and a flat $25 for Saturday and Sunday plus actual time work. We have folks that when you get called in for a water leak or something, they're on call, so they're here to help if something happens. We do have some additional certification for utility employees that is spelled out to where we have, if we have water guys that decide they want to go get their sewer licenses, if they pass those but are not working in the sewer, then they can receive a 24-cent per hour pay increase. So we do encourage a little bit of cross-training in our utilities. The mileage rate is all based on what the state of Indiana approves. We do not use the IRS. It's and then it is all submitted on the State Board of Accounts approved mileage. Where we spell out benefits, basically it talks about that our full-time employees, our appointed department heads, the mayor and the clerk treasurer are eligible to participate in city insurance plans. And it tells what we all pay. So the city does 85%, and the employee contributes 15%. We contribute $1,000 to our health savings account. Our city employees, department heads, clerk treasurer, and mayor are eligible to participate in IMPRS, which is known as PERF. We are also, all full-time police officers and full-time firefighters are eligible to participate in the Indiana Police Officers and Firefighter Fund, known as the 1977 Fund. All eligible employees who participate in the retirement fund program will contribute 3% of their biweekly pay towards the retirement fund, and the city will contribute 11.2% towards the civilian perf, and 23.3% towards the police and fire, the 1977 fund. So what that means is prior, our police and fire paid in 6%. The city is picking up a little bit more for them. So everybody in the city will now just pay 3%. So it's kind of an added bonus for the police and fire. Then we talk about if at the beginning of the year we have funds available, the city council will determine whether $1,000 bonuses can be paid to the appointed department heads, the mayor, the clerk treasurer, and our full-time employees as bonuses. And it spells that out. And then if we have part-time employees, they receive a portion, and it's all based on how long you've worked for the city, on if you're a new hire, what portion of the bonus you can get for that. We also spell out longevity. All eligible full-time employees, except the police patrolmen and detectives, shall be paid longevity based on years of service, and that longevity runs from 1% to 4%. Police patrolmen and detectives will be longevity pay is based on years of service, matrix outlined in Exhibit A. So as the police increase, there's a certain matrix that's spelled out that tells how much they will be paid. So a little bit different than the way we've done it before. We are paid on the calendar year from January to the end of the year on a cash basis. And this ordinance supersedes all of the other ordinances on this. And this ordinance will take effect on January 1st of 2025. And then we have all our line signatures. Then we have Exhibit A that lists everybody out by department and covers a lot of other pays items in here. So we've kind of just combined everything together, and we have one nice ordinance to spell out everything. And I will not go through and read all of the numbers, or we would be here half the night. But does anybody have any questions about anything here?
I want to thank you both for all the hard work you've done putting into this. You really made it easy for us in the budget committee to come in and kind of look at things, and I appreciate that. I do have a quick question, and I feel like I'm the one complicating things now, so I apologize. Is there any way to, when we do eventually make a motion to vote on this, to break out the Common Council budget separately? Just since the budget committee, I don't want to, I think we need to invest in everyone we're investing in, police, fire, roads, everything we're doing. I don't want to vote to increase my own pay on my first year. So if it's possible to break that out, I want to support everything else. If we can't break it out, I'm going to vote in support. But I feel like for me personally, that's something I should probably be doing on the end of a term for the next person, even if I am running or not running. But if it's too complicated, I understand that. And it just kind of came to me after talking with some people and thinking through it.
Well, what we've done in the past is we've gone ahead and did it, and then you can always donate back to something else.
The only problem is you have to pay taxes on that.
But if you donate it, you
But
can
you
take your
donate.
right.
Oh, yeah, technically.
That's what we always did, you know, we always gave a raise, it's basically to the scholarship.
Yeah, because you do have those extra
Yeah.
things that you now pay that you didn't have before. So, and the scholarship is one of them that the council has worked really hard on increasing. So, you know, you can always give towards that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
And you do put in a lot of time.
That's fair. I definitely, yeah, I mean,
You do.
it just feels more appropriate later, but absolutely. Thank you.
Well, it beats the $500 a year that what was the pay in 1995.
I was 5. You beat me to it.
Definitely don't. That's your.
Well, you're still making less than some of the other smaller communities in the area.
Yeah,
so.
that is fair.
I'll make a motion, we approve ordinance 2024-11.
A second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed or abstaining? Okay. So that will be back to us next month. I believe, I've misplaced my agenda, but I believe that's everything on the
That's it.
agenda. So I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I just want to say this is a great product here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Again, the ordinance is good, it's so much better than it used to be, it's much more clear, everything's concise, put in the grid, it's easy to read, so, well done. everybody.
Yeah, we hope our folks from State Board of Accounts appreciate that too, so.
Well, they may not be-
Thank you.
Yeah, they will. Did we get a motion in a second?
I so moved.
Okay, second?
A second.
Okay, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, and we'll see you all back next month.
Well, goody.